when I'm very relaxing, like, you know what I mean? That hour that I'm in the gym, I get my hair cut. I feel like I go to the center and system one set. Obviously I want fresh as it can be. So Aaron, that would be the only
podcast where you get to hear real people's hair journeys. I'm your, and each week I get to interview Blythe, whose lives have been some form or fashion, experienced hair loss themselves, their confidence, and today we're thrilled to have a guest, importance of confidence, camera, and behind the name on the show. He talked about various solutions he tried before, which finally gave him after. This week, we're deeper into how his hair as an actor and whether it really makes a difference on the rate. We've got another Muniz. We record, but its message is to do. Confidence is part of the interview by talking about Frankie as an actor. Not roles that he would get, but all as well.
As a, let's call it if you think about it, there's not actors that are like balding, funny, balding friend. So I know that there had been up for, and I ended up meeting with one saying that older than they thought. My hair was just really, really things as well. Like I knew when you live your life go from having full hair to full thing, and you really notice it in that picture. Even thing the other day, and from something I filmed in the well, and how bad my hair, because I remember thinking when we really good job of it look good. I remember good on that movie, and I'm shocked. So now, because I'm using a full head of hair, I'm used to having that. But as far as that, it didn't hurt me. But I know how I'm filming something now, or I'm on how I did those years where I'm trying to figure out, other than wearing a hat.
Right.
Didn't really work very good.
About our last conversation, actors in Hollywood have really been doing some things when it comes to something like a hair club or hair prevalent throughout the industry. You don't really see any kind of hair issues whatsoever when it comes to Hollywood, that there's really was something that was prevalent. Somebody else, and you all knew last to find out, but that doesn't seem.
Here's the crazy thing. I went for options or solutions because I didn't option. I really hadn't, and even hair club, I'd heard of really know, I also, even though I was balding and it was for older people, they worked with people in, just solutions for. I didn't know that. It took me going in and not kind of looking into hair club. I would talk, here's a solution. Oh, try this. A hair transplant. He's like, go to this doctor. I just kind of was like, sure. I'd be so desperate that I didn't do that. And Interesting notion here. Desperate for a solution, but face of all the options that are out before in episode 26. All the things he tried to get his hair. Check out our show notes for want to hear more of the specific systems. Frankie didn't know much hair club. The social media posts, but even that, I'm like, well, where do they do? How long does it last? Is it things that I was like, I don't know, like the lifestyle, especially with the racing. I'm sweating. It's 100. I'm working out, I'm very, very hard. And I wasn't sure could keep up with me. And I think that's been one of the most things, or, I think a subject or whatever you want to call it, or what you do for, hard you are. I was in the ocean and swimming, really do anything and everything. And I think that was a question I think in person. And they go how do you take, it's my hair would have done, right? I want to condition it the same way I want to do and at all. And it doesn't hold me back at all.
You towel dry it? How do you been wet and you've been active?
Dry it, normal. I don't know. I don't or think I've got to be cat. It's my hair. I think that's a test, right? They have a lot comes to adhesives that they apply it or full lace systems. There's skin systems. So I have some hybrids in the front, lace in the back with my helmet.
Oh, wow.
And thing with Hair Club is they'll work with you will work the best. And I think we found that there's a little period of trial and it works better with your skin and all that. We figured that we've got our system to have full confidence that at all.
So you'll be just 30 degrees even outside. You're sweating, helmet off. There's never even a concern saying, okay, is my hair still on?
Never a concern. Initially, I won't lie. What's it going to do? Helmet off? No. That was kind of over that, you know what I mean? And no fear that that's going to be an issue. The cool thing though, as well, I don't want to sound like I'm just travel all around the country, throughout the country. I've gone into places. I went into Orlando and the race. So
wow.
The aspect of being a hair is it's not just all the time in different locations throughout the country. Awesome to help me out.
And they give you the exact style perfectly, and you can wear anytime, wherever you might.
I've started wanting a little too. That's the fun thing too, is whatever you want, right? You can change the color. More fun experimental thing, not as permanent, if that makes sense.
It's amazing to see how things change. Being the source of his at a point where with his hair, his look, and even courage to come back from a place of need, a hair system get there. I wanted to has the same impact. It takes a lot of determination, attitude to drive one of those lines and really go.
In 2004, doing Malcolm, but I got to do that at the Long Beach Grand Prix, freeing that, and that feeling was like truly mad. Once you've experienced that, like feeling all the time, the person, but even become a professional race car driver, will start racing when they're 5 in karts and kind of work their way up. By time they're 16 for 10, 12 years. I started at 8 old.
For that profession, yeah.
I got thrown off the deep end. I got approached that pro celebrity race, and they offered one, and it ended up that. And they signed me to my next race was the former BMW champion, current Formula One driver, Sebastian Vettel, Newgarden, so I threw myself off the deep end. But if you wanted to do something, you have to have the natural ability. You have to have, if you want to be the best, you got to compete. You have to feel racing is so much mental preparation. Like most sports, right? If you can't shoot the ball, you have to have the confidence. And do it. So when I went in 2000, hurt, and that kind of, as I was healing, so I died until 2020, in my first pro season of Menard series. But I decided, let me completely different world from wheel cars, like Indy cars, Olympic diving and Olympic. They're not. It's two different athlete disciplines. Like, sure, you have to do it just different. After such a long period off, the oldest guy, I was the old man. I was 18-year-olds as a 38-year-old me and be like, oh, you're older than me. I'm like, how am I older than racing? You know what I mean? What you're saying about like confidence, show up and feel like you want to feel like the old guy. Hair and the confidence to like my hat off and know that it means so, like, as I would understand like that the helps me in it does. It's a weird.
Talk about mental blocks. And when you're self-conscious about your hair thing, that it's like a thorn and that's always there. And a thorn, it just allows you to in with the confidence of.
Well, here's an interesting though, and I don't know if so. Hair Club commercial, new infomercial. And I kind of hosting. I came up with the idea for 3 months hair system, letting my hair like a proper like looks like. And this is before I was really or like someone who public member, so we weren't really getting to tell this. I cannot tell those 3 months. You go like, oh, it won't be that bad. It's couldn't believe it. I truly feel like it did confidence so much, even from because like I'd be in the gym, like work in the mirror, and I just felt like because how thin the system put back on for have the true before and after. If I did it for the first time again, truly eye opening of this human, and is out there that feels conscious or feels. Or I'm telling you, it's worth the going. Just go in for that. You go immediately back, but I'm telling you, it's going to change your mind. And I know people who now they come up to me like, dude, they know exactly what you're talking about. Game changer.
What is the hair system and how does that differ from hair? How much more time does it take? Because when you're a busy professional, you are a husband on in your life. Does it take as good as it does?
No. Time that's added is the club. But women go to a spa, whatever it is. When I'm very relaxing, like, you know what I mean? That hour that I'm in the massage, I get my hair cut. Like I go once every 2 weeks, and I probably once every 2 months. I want it to be so they take really good once every 2 weeks time. But that's more with travel, the 2 hours every 2 weeks, the system is the way it needs. I feel every other in those weeks. So I know hair of levels of people come in twice a week. You can come in once a month looking for, and I would say that I don't need, not that I go in because I have to. It's a club spokesperson, the best it can possibly, I think people are looking more if I wasn't.
Because you are a driver. Where are your next Frankie Muniz?
Yeah. Say that I've lived, that's the way I like it. I like staying anytime. Grow yourself for the first time in a while. I'm trying to do, right? If you want to be and you're competing against they're just focused on being girl. Same with being an actor, whatever it may be. If you want to be successful to make those things. Right now, my focus is only racing part-time this year for the season, but then next year I'll be full-time. So it'll be very, very busy. That said, some acting stuff and some energy, but it won't hinder all. And that's kind of how I'm trying this morning before I got on this call. I got offered a movie. Over the movie's really fun. It's going to put on me, my family. And, I don't want to there's a lot of people in my life, in my career, in whatever it is, I'm just kind of do it halfway.
We over here at HairPod, thank you for coming on the show and that when you feel how much easier to live your life, live it. And Frankie had making the bold move to sell in. Stock car racing. Now he's not totally abandoned to it, but it's a bold choice. It's been your entire life in a new place. Out of confidence, we would all love our decisions to take chances, try on new things. 6 with Frankie, if you want your journey went before him and how he figured for him. For more inspiring wisdom from people who have been through, subscribe to the show on your. Thanks for listening to Pod. Check us out at Search HairPod on Facebook. If you know someone who could so, we would love it if you're enjoying the show. Consider Apple Podcasts or your. We also have a website, hairclub.com. And to share real stories, feel a little bit less. View and subscribe. It helps. So thank you. Until.